I'll be showing 25 tips and tricks in Excel. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or long-time Excel user, you're going to find something useful in this video. So let's get started. The first tip is importing PDF data directly into Excel, and I'm using Excel for Office 365 here. So here's a PDF I have open and it has a bunch of different information. What I really want is this table right here. Now if I selected this table normally and copied it and tried to paste into Excel, it's a bunch of junk. So let's do it the right way. Switch to the Data tab here and then choose Get Data. And then go to From File and choose From PDF right here. Now select Sample Data and click Import. This brings up the little dialog that lets you select the data. So here are the different tables that it found in that PDF. So I don't want that one. I don't want that one. Here's the one that I want. All the speed, driver, car information. If I wanted to change the data, maybe I didn't want a certain column in here, maybe I want to get rid of it, I could click Transform Data and go modify it before importing. But I'm just going to click Load right here. And there it is. It's imported right into Excel. This is a fully sortable table, everything I can normally do with Excel directly from my PDF. The second tip is the new Analyze Data feature. This formerly was known as Ideas, but it uses AI and intelligence in Excel to automatically analyze your data and surface a lot of cool insights. I have a spreadsheet here for Mike's Music Store. On the Home tab, I'm going to go in the upper right and I'm going to choose this Analyze Data. And this is rolled out in the Excel for Office 365. So I'll click Analyze Data and automatically it pulls up a bunch of really interesting insights. Things about designers, things about inventory value, brand, and I can scroll down. I could even at the bottom click Show All 34 Results. So all sorts of really interesting data that it just pulls up automatically. Now, if I want to insert a chart here, I can say, quantity in stock, inventory value. I just click Insert Chart, and it just puts that right on the page. I can also generate pivot tables based on this. So in this case, I've got a pivot table here. Let's see, by inventory value, by brand, and factory location. So I'll click Insert Pivot Table, and it gives me an entire pivot table layered out here. I can go and do all the sorting things that I might normally be able to do in a pivot table. The other nice thing you can do with Analyze Data is ask it a question. And so what it does is it looks at the column headers and uses smarts to figure things out. So I can ask something basic like, what is the highest unit price? And immediately it finds that my Marshall amp is the highest. That's $2,000. I can also ask questions like, where is lowest inventory value? And very quickly it'll tell me that looking across Munich, if you sum that up, the lowest is in the Munich location. And if you go and clear this and just drop this down, there's all sorts of suggestions. So I can do things like sorting, percentage, which brand of inventory ID. So Analyze Data gives you all sorts of insights automatically into how to get more value out of your data quickly. The third tip is Flash Fill, which is one of the biggest time savers for boring Excel data entry. So I have some names here. I want to combine both of these columns into one cell. I'll type out Edward Springer one time, hit enter. Now go to the Data tab here and go over and choose Flash Fill. It automatically fills all these with smarts. In this case, I just want to pull the first name out. I'll type Edward one time, hit enter. Now use the shortcut, Control E. That is your best friend, Control E. Now another name, I can even do commas. So in this case, Springer, comma, Edward. Now in this case, I'm going to drag down, push the mouse button down, drag, and they all look the same. But if I open up this here, choose Flash Fill. That's a third way you can do it. It works with addresses. I want to extract the zip codes, type the first one, Control E, really fast. You can combine columns. Here's address example. I'll type in 1, hit enter, Control E, they all combine. It'll even clean spaces out of your data. So here's one, I type in Seattle, Control E, everything is cleaned out. Look at that. The fourth tip is using the new mapping and geography data types. So I'm here on the World Atlas site and I have the 50 different states and the different populations. I've put that into Excel. So I've pasted this table into Excel. I'm going to select both of the columns. I'm going to go to the Insert menu. And over here on the right, you're going to see Maps. Drop that down and choose this choice here. It immediately makes this chart and I can change it. So I've got the size here. I can hover and I can see the population of Florida or California, which has the most, or where I live, Washington State. And if I select this chart, I can go here and choose different choices. So I can make it with a black background or gray, and you have a couple options. This doesn't just have to be population. Maybe I'm tracking orders and all these are just going to be numbers. In this case, what I did is I only have 10 states and there's different order numbers, and you can see it immediately updates, and even the scale updates here. And I don't have other states, so they are just represented in gray. The fifth tip is version history. It's like an Excel time machine in case somebody messed with your stuff. I've got a spreadsheet here. Let's say my boss, Michael Scott, he's not too sharp. He goes here and he right clicks and just deletes the entire spreadsheet for the inventory list. And I'm like, oh no, where'd it go? So he saves it and he doesn't tell me that he did it. So now let's say that I come back in and I see that it's missing. And I'm like, wait, I'll go to the file menu, click on info, and then go down to version history. This opens up a pane on the right-hand side and all the different versions I've ever saved are right here. I'm gonna go backwards in time just a little bit. I'll click this here. And you can see, hey, there's my inventory list number 2, it's back. So if I click restore, it'll save it right into this file, or I can click this, that can save it off as a separate file if you wanna back it up, but I'll just go here and click restore. Okay, now my spreadsheet is back in place. The 6th tip will allow you to email an Excel file or convert it to a PDF to email in a single click. I'm gonna go to the upper left and we're gonna drop this little arrow down right here on the toolbar. Choose more commands. Now, in the quick access toolbar customization, drop this down here and choose all commands. Scroll down the big list until you see email. Here we are. Now select email and choose add. We're also going to select email as PDF attachment here and click add. Now click OK. It's added these 2 little buttons to your quick access toolbar. The first one is the email button. I'll click this. Instantly it opens a new email with the inventory Excel attached and I can just send that off. Now I'm back in Excel and I'll go to the little toolbar here and this time click email as PDF attachment. It instantly converts that Excel file into a PDF. Let's check this out. Open it up. And there's that full spreadsheet. All 3 sheets are right here in the PDF, even the colors. The 7th tip is XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is next generation VLOOKUP, and it actually can replace both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP if you're an old-time Excel user. One of the cool things about XLOOKUP is the lookup array doesn't always have to be on the left-hand side and you have more flexibility, as well as the ability to return multiple pieces of data at the same time, and I'll show both of those scenarios. I have a spreadsheet here full of my music store data. I'm going to be looking in the designer. So I've got Nigel Tufnel. I hit equals and then XLOOKUP and then parentheses. So the lookup value is Nigel Tufnel. Now I hit comma. The lookup array. We're going to be looking in this right here for designer. Hit comma. For the return array, I'll select this column right here. Now by default, XLOOKUP does exact match. So I don't need to hit false. I just hit parentheses, hit enter. And there we go, an amp that goes to 11. Now I'll show how XLOOKUP can return multiple values at the same time. So I'm going to switch to a different sheet and then reference the original inventory sheet and show how that works. I'm going to go here and I want to refer to that sheet and do some more interesting things. So I'll type equals XLOOKUP and parentheses. The lookup value is this designer, Jimi Hendrix. I hit comma. Now the lookup array is on the other sheet. So I'm going to switch back here and we're going to select this whole column of all the designers and click comma. Now the next one is return array, and this is the cool part. I can select 2 different columns. So VLOOKUP only allows 1. I can do 2 or 3. I've selected those, and then I'm going to hit parentheses to close this and hit enter. And you'll see on this sheet, it returns both of those items for Jimi Hendrix. If I want to select both of these and click and drag down, it'll fill up the other rows as well with this same data. The 8th tip shows you how to make a cool little diagonal border in your cell. So I have a list of items here and I have a list of dates across the top here, and I want to make a little diagonal border. So I'll click here and now I'm going to type in date. Then I do Alt Enter and I will type item. Now what I want to do is have date, hit the space bar, have it go across a little bit, and then we'll hit enter. Now we're going to format the cell. Control 1, click on the border tab, and there is an option here, diagonal. Click this, hit OK, check that out. The 9th tip is sparklines. So I have weekly sales data here and I'm going to make a sparkline. I'm going to go to the insert menu. Over here under sparklines, I will choose column. Now select the data range. I'll select these 5 cells. The location is going to be B3, already selected. Click OK. Look at that, sparkline columns. I can click and drag down. And then if I want to change it to a line, I just click right here or go back. The 10th tip are the best Excel keyboard shortcuts. Now everyone has their favorite shortcuts in Excel, but honestly, my shortcuts are the best. And I'm saying that completely objectively. So the first one, I'm going to do Alt equals. It will auto sum the column above, and then I just hit enter. Super quick way to sum. The next one is inserting a row. Do Control Shift plus and you insert a row. Then let's say I want to delete a row. I can just do the same thing, highlight the row I want to delete and do Control minus. To select an entire column, just click in a cell like this and do Control space and that whole column is selected. And then to select a row, just click in the row you want and do Shift space, and that whole row will be selected. The next one is one of my favorites, and it's the shortcut for Flash Fill, which lets you really automate data entry quickly. So I have 100,000 fake names here in a list, a first name and a last name. I've typed out the first entry, and now I want to have this automatically go Flash Fill the entire way down. All I do is Control E, and look at that, it automates the whole thing. If I go Control End to go to the very end, 100,000 fake names are automatically combined. To change spreadsheet tabs along the bottom, just do Control Page Down. I change the tabs at the bottom, Control Page Down. To go back the other direction, do Control Page Up, Control Page Up. To open up the formatting box, do Control 1. There are all of your formatting options. And last but not least, we're going to do inserting a note. So if I want to add a status note here, just do Shift F2 and I can add a note. Your Excel sheet is amazing. The 11th tip will show you how to quickly auto size columns or rows. So I've got an Excel spreadsheet and I've got all these different rows and they're different sizes and the columns are different. I want to size it all at once automatically. Go here and click that little button to select everything. Now hover till you see the little splitter bar on a column, double click. And now hover till you see a splitter bar and double click. Look at that. The 12th tip is backgrounds in your spreadsheet. So I've got a boring looking old spreadsheet here and I'm going to go to the page layout tab and I'm going to click on backgrounds. It pulls up a dialog and I can search for images. I can upload my own, I can add one from OneDrive, but in this case I'm going to search one from Bing. Let's add Darth Vader. Now by default, Creative Commons only is checked. You can uncheck that to see even more images, but I'm going to choose this one right here and click Insert. Oh, look at that. Now I'm going to select these cells and make them white so they stand out a little bit. The force is strong within this spreadsheet. I can also do other ones. Here's one of our friend Dwight Schrute. Take your spreadsheets to 11 with that image, and I encourage you to have lots of fun with this one. The 13th tip will show you how to delete blank rows from your data, in this case 100,000 fake names. So I've got a bunch of blank rows in my Excel data here, 100,000 names. First do Control G to bring up GoTo, then click on Special. Now select blanks, hit OK. All the blank rows are selected. Then do Control minus to bring up the delete dialog, choose Shift Cells up, hit OK. All done. The 14th tip is using conditional formatting to make your data pop a little bit more. So I've selected a bunch of cells here for quantity. On the Home tab, I'm going to go to Conditional Formatting, choose Color Scales, and you can see different options. The first one is the red, yellow, green, where red is the lowest number and green is highest, and it automatically will color that for you. And there are some other options for colors as well. We even have a little bit of red, white, and blue if you want. Now the other one is data bars. This can show different gradient fills showing where 5 is the lowest and 186 is the highest, and there are some different colors. We even have the solid fills. And the final one you can play around with is icon sets. And this is kind of fun. I can go here and get a red and yellow and green circle for high, medium, low. There are arrows. There's also things with checks and exclamation points and a little red X. And there's even things at the bottom where you've got pie charts and stars and all sorts of things that you can play around with. The 15th tip is pulling in stock data into Excel and manipulating it. This uses the Wolfram Alpha technology. And I'm just going to hit equals and type stock history. Now do open parentheses, and the first thing you're going to enter is the stock symbol. So in quotes, I'm going to put MSFT for Microsoft. Then a comma. Now we're going to do start date. First of the year, comma, and then just end date. And then quotes, we'll keep this simple, close parentheses. Hit enter. Immediately it pulls all of the dates and the closing prices for Microsoft. Now I select all this, go to the insert menu, do recommended charts. We'll go down here and I'm going to hit OK. Let's make this blue. Let's make the formula more efficient for easy updates. So here's the stock history formula. We're going to replace these hard codings with the different references. Stock, starting date, closing date. Now I can quickly update something. So let's check GameStop. Whoops, it goes up, then it goes down. Here's Apple since last September. I can change the interval as well. Select stock history, go here, hit comma, and you can see there's different intervals, daily, weekly, monthly. I'll choose monthly, hit enter. There's monthly Apple. The 16th tip will let you use the little known Excel camera to take a photo of data and then have it update as well. So I'm here in an Excel table. I'm going to go to the top and drop down the quick access toolbar, and I'm going to choose more commands. You're going to drop this one down and then choose all commands. Now scroll down to camera. Here it is, camera. Now click add and then click OK. It's added the little camera up to the top here. Now I'm going to select a chunk of data that I want, and there we are, and I'm going to click camera. Now it takes a photo snapshot of this. Now I'm going to go over to this other Excel spreadsheet and just click. And it'll paste it right there when I click. And I can make this a little bit bigger. Now here's what's really cool. I'm going to go and update over here. This is no longer a 1,000-watt amplifier. This is a 10,000-watt amplifier. And watch what happens. It updates the data over here. So this is all built in. And the data in the photo is linked. So instead of a 7-piece drum set, it's an 11-piece drum set. And it updates it right over here. The 17th tip is drop-down lists. So in this case, I want to make sure that the right factory location is entered. And there's only 3 cities down here, Seattle, Shanghai, Munich. And I want to make a drop down so make it easy to choose. Now first, let's select all of the cells that I want to have this in. So I've selected those. Now go to the Data tab here, and we're going to click Data Validation. Over here on Allow, we're going to drop this down and choose List, and then the source. So I'm going to click the little up arrow. I will select these 3 cells here, Seattle, Shanghai, and Munich, and then go back and click the little down arrow. And there's my source selected. I hit OK. And now you see a little drop down. So I click here and I choose Seattle, and I go down here and I can choose Shanghai. So now you can ensure that the right data is entered into your spreadsheet. The 18th tip is the Quick Access Toolbar in Excel, aka the Quad. This allows you to customize your Excel toolbar in a way that's really useful for you. So I can right click on any button like here and choose Add to Quick Access Toolbar, and it shows up right here. Let's add some more. Now I'll right click on Pivot Table and Add to Quick Access Toolbar, Conditional Formatting, Insert a Row, Delete a Row, and everybody's favorite Sum. Now I have all my favorite buttons up here, so I can select some cells and choose Filter, do a Pivot Table, Insert a Row, or Delete a Row. And if I want Auto Sum something, check it out. Now to remove any of these buttons from the Quick Access Toolbar, just right click and choose Remove. The 19th tip is Pivot Tables. Classic but important feature of Excel, and being able to really analyze the data in large quantities in tables and make more sense of it. So I'm going to select my table here like this, and I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and I'm going to choose Pivot Table. Now the table is already selected, and I'm going to choose to put this into a new worksheet right here and hit OK. So it generates this new sheet with a little layout where I can start building my pivot table. Now the right-hand side are where all the fields are, and these are important, and we'll be walking through this slowly. Now first off, I want to drag down factory location into rows. This will automatically label the cities for my factory locations, but now I want to show some data for these cities. So now I'm going to click on quantity in stock and drag it down to values. Now it shows the sum of the quantity in stock in each city. But now I want to break that up a little bit more. So now what I want to do is I want to see which items are in each of the cities. So if I drag item down to rows, it's going to make that into groups automatically, which is really slick. So I can see the amplifiers and the drums and guitar I've got in Austin. I can see what I have in Dublin. Seattle has a lot of stuff as well. So it's nice to be able to group that. I can collapse them as well. Now I want to drag in a filter. So let's say I want to have a filter by brand. I'm going to drag brand down to the filter area, and that's going to create a filter for this data. So if you go up here, now I can filter all this by brand. So if I drop this down and I say, you know what, I want to see all the fenders across all of these locations, hit OK. Here are the 2 areas with fenders. I can choose multiples as well. So maybe I want to see the fenders, the Pearls, and the Ludwigs, hit OK. And you see these are all filtered. Last thing we'll show are the columns. So I've got designer who's designing all these different types of instruments. I drag designer into columns here, and it's going to add columns. So the Jimi Hendrix designer, John Paul Jones designed these. So you have all the designers. In just a couple of minutes, I'm able to create really rich data exploration with my pivot table. The 20th tip is a sneaky way to fill out a date series with an underknown command. So I want to fill out my weekdays here and just drag down, right click on that dot, drag down, then let go of your mouse, and now choose Fill Weekdays. It automatically fills just the weekdays. Same thing with months. Click here, right click, drag down, let go, and choose Fill Months. And you can see there's some other options too. The 21st tip is my favorite set of casing functions. So I've got some names here I want to convert to uppercase. I'll do equals and upper, open parentheses, select the cell, close parentheses, hit enter, and it converts it to uppercase. Double click the square, and I get all of them. To convert these names to lowercase, to equals and then lower, open parentheses, select the cell, close parentheses, hit enter, double click the square. To give proper case to a name, hit equals, type proper, open parentheses, select the cell, close parentheses, hit enter, and same thing, double click the square. The 22nd tip is adding color to your Excel tabs. So I have 3 sheets here, one with purple headers, yellow headers, and red headers, and it's kind of hard to distinguish these sheets here down below. If I right click on one, I can choose tab color, and I can match it. So here's purple, here's yellow, and here's red. Now it's really easy to distinguish with my eyes. The 23rd tip is taking a photo using Office Mobile and having it OCR right into an Excel table on your mobile phone. So first I have the new Office Mobile app on my iPhone here, and I'll launch it. And I'm going to click on Actions on the right hand side. You can see a bunch of choices here, and I'm going to choose Image to Table. Now I'm going to line up a picture of this table, and I'm going to take a photo. Processing. Okay, I'll make sure that my photo is sized properly and I've got everything in there I want, and hit done. And look at that, it's a nice table. I can open it. I'm going to hit open. And there's a couple items, so if I want to review anything and make sure that it's converted, I could, but I'm just going to click open anyway. And look at this, it is in a nice Excel table. I can zoom in. Here's the Excel on my iPhone. Everything is converted. The 24th tip is importing data directly from the web. So I'm going to start out and go to the Data tab. And I'm going to choose From Web right here. Click this. It's going to ask for the URL. Let's get it from Wikipedia. Here's my Wikipedia URL. I'm going to copy this and we'll go back to Excel. And I'm going to paste the URL right here and hit OK. It pulls right from Wikipedia, and here are all the different tables. So championships, no, I don't want that one. Super Bowl championships, that's the one I want. Go down here and click load. It pulls all this data into a table in Excel that can be sorted, refreshed, and everything else. The 25th and final tip is how to have Excel speak softly into your ear. So I will go up here and drop down this little menu, and we'll go to more commands. I'm going to drop down this and choose all commands. Now scroll all the way down until you see speak cells. Okay, here it is, add speak cells, and then also add stop speaking cells, and then click OK. Now it's added both these buttons here. So if I wanted to start reading horizontally here, I'll just go and click speak.
Amp that goes to $2,000, Nigel Tufnell.
And I can click this button to stop. And I can also select a set of cells in a column, so I can go like this and do the same thing.
Jimi Hendrix, John Denver, Jimmy Page.
Now Excel can talk back. If you found this video useful, give it a like. Now if you want to keep up with all the latest videos I'll be releasing, subscribe to my channel and then just ring the bell to keep notified for all the latest posts.